Dillon, first one for you as a member of the New Jersey Devils. Kind of winning off of your old team partner there. How does that feel for you?
Don't care how it goes in. At the end of the day, it's just nice to contribute. I don't do it often, but it's just nice to be able. We've been trying to get pucks to the net. These guys do a great job blocking shots. We talked about that before the game, so we're just trying to find a lane, get it there, and Costa did a great job net front.
And what can you say about the way the team really managed the different levels of momentum here when the Caps sort of started coming on? What have you guys, how have you grown there in that as a team?
I think this stretch of games like Florida, Tampa, Carolina, these guys, we've played some really good teams. Mm-hmm. So this stretch of hockey, we've had to be on our toes. We've had to kind of take in a little bit of water at certain points and kind of bend but don't break. We know they've got good, talented players. They're going to get their opportunities. A few times tonight, whether it was blocking that extra shot or finding a stick in front to box out, I thought we did a pretty good job overall. Obviously, Jake had a great game, so, just everybody contributing.
I was going to say, especially at the end of that third there, just to see the way Jake came up with those massive saves.
Yeah, huge one off that face-off. They make a nice play, and he stretches across. We just have so much confidence in our goalies, in our team in general. We just never feel like we're out of a game. Other team scores. Our next shift is huge, and I think we've just been answering and showing some resiliency.
How much has this also just become, trusting the system, but also being comfortable enough with it for you guys that it's nothing you have to think about, you just go out and play?
Yeah, I feel like we're almost there. We're really getting better and better at just trusting the system, trusting the structure. I feel like we've had success when we do it, and that's the recipe. Keefe has laid out the blueprint for us. He's done a great job of just showing us black and white what it takes for us to be successful. And we've got a lot of new pieces, a lot of fresh faces. We've been getting better and better as the games have progressed, and like I said, a tough stretch of hockey here against some really good teams, and I think we've just found ways to win in a tough league.
And then being against your divisional opponents has to be even more significant for this group right now.
Huge, yeah. To get regulation wins, let alone getting just 1 point or letting the other team get 1 point. Every game is so key, especially early on in a season like this. It's crazy to think we're already past the quarter mark of the year. Our schedule has been insane. I feel like we've played every second night, travel, whatever the case might be. We haven't used any excuses. We've just found ways again to win.
Jake, that was a full team, full effort from start to finish there. What did you make about the way the guys played in front of you tonight?
Yeah, I thought for the first two periods they were really awesome. Obviously we knew Washington was going to have a push in the third, being down a couple, and we found a way to get through it, especially the last probably 2.5 minutes, some big blocks there from the guys, and it's not going to be pretty all the time. You got to find ways to win. It's hard to put a complete 60 together in this league against really good teams, and teams that we're chasing in the standings, and 2 big wins this week against divisional opponents.
And how important has it been, to close these out in regulation? Obviously, taking those 2 points, but especially with how tight this division is.
Yeah, no, for sure. It might not mean a lot right now, but come April, late March, those points are huge, meaningful. I've been in a situation in my career. I've been out of the playoffs by 1 point. Every point matters. I always say that to the guys. Sometimes even if you find a way to get it to overtime and you lose, it's still you gained a little bit of ground. So that was definitely crucial.
What has this team learned about handling the pushback and momentum from the opponent, particularly over this last stretch, maybe going back to the Florida game?
Yeah, I think it's all about playing responsible, taking care of the blue lines, offensive, defensive, being mature. You got to know when to have poise with the puck. It's a lot of experience. And that's the situation you want to be in. You want to be in those tight games at the end of the day because, the regular season, obviously points are crucial, but it builds those times for the playoffs. And, we have a lot of guys in here that have a lot of experience. We have some that have very little. And I think these games simulate a lot of that.
Congrats on 200. How does that sort of feel?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a long last 4 years to find a way to get 50 wins, and for me, the first 150 came a little easier, but an accomplishment that someday I'll be proud of.
What have you just liked about the way you've sort of fit into this group?
Yeah, I think for me, I think it was crucial for me to come last year. Yeah. I don't think I would have had the start I've had this year with this group if I didn't come last year. I think that was the right decision at the time. You never really know, but you got to make that decision right, and I think that was the big thing for me. It gave me time to get comfortable, and I think me and Marky have a good thing going, and we just want to be there for the boys.
That's a win like this, closing it out in regulation, seeing guys go down and block those shots. How much is this about what you guys are really building right now?
Yeah, it was a lot of real great block by Merce and Nico. Also great save by Jack. It was a critical moment, last minute, but we stood up and held it strong.
And what have you seen from this team in terms of an area of growth of managing the momentum of the game when teams are coming at you guys?
I just feel like we were more mature, since the time I was here. It was a young team. Now these guys are, slowly getting in the prime, or if they're not in the prime. So, there's a lot of maturity in each game, and you play, you're getting more experience, and you can see it on this team right now.
And for you and your goal, obviously, right out there in front, exactly, you make that face. Sort of take me through just seeing that whole play and really that pass that Luke made to Halsey there.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I stopped playing for a second. It was a great play by Luke and a good shot by Eric. I wasn't sure really how he saved it, but I still see it trickled in and then it stopped, So I was just sprinting there and to get the cookie. I mean, it was fortunate enough. I mean, big goal in the power play. The first unit started as well, and we finished the job.
And then just, you mentioned a little bit before, but just to see the way, Jake was able to play on this gun, 200 career wins, that smile there, just nice to see for him.
Yeah, he's been great. He, in crucial moments, he makes those big saves like he did at the end, and he was outstanding tonight.
Do you feel the confidence of this team growing as you're piling up these wins?
Yeah, as it should. We've worked hard, to put ourselves in a spot like this, and we can't stop, and we wanted to be better every game.
I was just saying it, not every win is going to be pretty. You're going to have to fight all the way to the end to get the 2 points. Just talk about the resiliency of the defensive structure late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's you see first Jake Allen, saves the game for us with a huge save, and then Mercer and Nico, great block shots, sacrificing to make sure we get the points. That's the kind of efforts you need to close out games. So you love seeing that. Didn't love a lot about our game, quite honestly, but I thought we played smart enough defensively to limit, a lot of what their strengths are offensively, and because of that, we only needed 3.
Well, Sheldon, is this a game that I hear you talk about, really relying on your defensive structure when you're being really forced and pressed? And so we saw that from Washington, like you talked about, you had to defend a lot. And so would this be a game you'd credit the team not breaking and really relying on the defensive structure?
Yeah, well, first, they're one of the most dangerous teams in the league off the rush, and we gave up, with exception of maybe 1 or 2 in the third, nothing off the rush through 2 periods, especially. So we kind of clogged that up for them, and now you got to deal with their time in the offensive zone. I thought we struggled to deal with their forecheck. But, some long sequences in our zone, but I think they still finished, 25 shots or something like that. And that's a credit to the guys with, just trusting the structure, sticking with it, and, finding ways to win.
We'll open it up to the media.
Are you starting to see Dougie trust himself a little more offensively right now and just sort of seeing him, especially with his shot in particular?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that scoring that goal last game seems to have done wonders for him. And a lot of the structure, the way that they killed penalties tonight, they were really just kind of leaving Dougie. So, if that's the case, we need him to fire away and make them regret that decision. So I love that he was shooting it today. He had one in the third period that was labeled for the top corner, and it just missed. But, a really good sign for us that he's shooting it like that.
How big has your goaltending tandem been for you guys to get to where you are right now?
Yeah, it's been big. I think we've defended really well as a team. I think we've protected our goalies for the most part, but there's going to be cracks, there's going to be mistakes, and you're going to have to rely on them to come up with a save and keep you in a game. So that's exactly what happened here tonight. The guys did a good job in front of Jake, and and then he rewards them with a big save at the end after we make a mistake.
I know Brendan Dillon brings a lot to this team. What's it mean to see him score his first tonight?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I don't think Dilly goes into many games thinking about scoring, but he competes so hard, does so many little things for our team that maybe would go unnoticed a lot of nights. So for him to get one to fall is good.
Second power play unit got the first goal of the game, and I know they haven't gotten as many cracks, but it still seems like they've been able to pitch in a lot to help with the power play this year when they've had their chances.
Yeah, they've been good. Like you say, they haven't got a lot of time, and a lot of that usually if the first group's going as well as it has, it's hard to get the second group because either the first one's scoring and the power play ends, or they've got the puck in the offensive zone for a long period of time and you don't get a line change. So. That was a big moment in the game, big goal for us. I thought the first unit really set the tone for that power play. We had a number of shots and chances, and then the second group came out and followed it up.